she was in her backyard. And we were like, what are you doing? She said, oh, you guys stole my dog, and then pulled the knife out on us. We were like, we don't have your dog.
I could actually see I have a video on the Ring camera. And I was like, what the heck?
Sorry, I'm not dealing with this right now. I'm going through a lot.
What are you going through? Here, ma'am, come out here for a minute.
No.
Yes?
No.
We gotta talk about something.
Alone. Leave me alone.
Ma'am, step out of the car.
No.
Step out of the car. Keep your hands in sight.
Main 5-5 boy. Hey, 5-5 boy. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. All officers are okay.
And welcome back to the Civil Rights Lawyer channel. This video comes to us from Rancho Cordova, California, where law enforcement services are contracted out to the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. They released a narrated video that covers the moments leading up to deputies shooting a woman in Rancho Cordova and arresting her back in November. However, being a civil rights lawyer, I look at things a little bit differently. So when I watched this video, I didn't quite see how this video proves that they did nothing wrong. Quite the opposite. Let's take a look at the footage. You tell me if this looks problematic to you.
Hello?
Hi, this is the Rancho Cordova Police Department. You called about your dog.
So this entire mess begins with a woman looking for her dog. So she apparently calls 911 first, claiming that her dog is at someone else's house, and she knows because she can hear the dog barking.
Yeah, she's barking in the same spot in someone's backyard, but I knocked on two of the neighbors' doors. One of them answered, said that they didn't have the dog. It sounds like it's coming from the house behind them.
Okay.
But it's like hard to tell.
Can you give me an address of where we need to go? And can you see your dog?
Can I what?
How do you know it's your dog?
Because I know what my dog's bark sounds like.
Okay.
Then there's a second person calling 911. And of course, that is the person at the home where this lady shows up with a butcher knife looking for her dog.
Sheriff's Office.
Hey, I'm calling. I live in Rancho Cordova, and there's this woman walking around with a butcher knife, and she just tried to break into our house.
What address is this at? And do you know if did she try to open any other neighbors' doors or just yours?
I'm not sure if she did or not. She came to our door once to try to get in through the door, and by the time we got out there, she was gone. Then about 3 minutes later, she circled back and started opening our fence to get into our backyard, and that's when we saw her.
And
she started, like, banging on the doors and the gates. I don't know if she went to anybody else's house, though.
And this is the Ring doorbell footage from that lady's house showing this woman showing up to the front door, and you can see the knife in her hand. And then dispatch gets back on the phone with the original lady and sort of turns the tables on her and starts to ask her questions, including about the knife.
Hello?
Hi, is this...
Yes, I just got a phone call.
Uh-huh. That was me
Yes,
trying to...
yeah.
Are you
I know who has...
Okay.
I already know who has my dog. Yeah, my dog's in the backyard.
Okay.
None of
I'm
the
sending
gates are
officers
open.
to help you. Are you carrying a butcher knife?
No, I'm sitting in a chair in my room.
You're sitting in a chair in your room. You don't have a knife at all?
No.
Okay. What's your address? What's your room?
I got my dog. Thank you.
Oh, you already have your dog.
So multiple officers arrive at the location where this interaction took place, and they begin to ask questions of the homeowners, and this is where they're given the Ring camera footage.
Is this her down here in the car, or where'd she go?
She just walked that way. I don't know which one after that. We went back in the house.
Is she one of your neighbors?
So she says she actually knows where she lives. I've never seen her before. We just came out here because she was in her backyard. And we were like, what are you doing? She said, oh, you guys stole my dog, and then pulled the knife out on us. We were like, we don't have your dog. And then
how was
put
she,
the knife down.
How was she holding the knife?
I could actually see, I have a video on the ring camera.
Yeah,
okay. And I was like, what the heck? And I didn't even see that she had a knife until...
Do you have a dog back there?
We have two dogs, and so our neighbors behind...
Are they both your dogs, or did you like find one of them?
No, they're both ours, though. And then she was like, oh, I can hear the dogs barking. I was like, our neighbors behind us also have dogs. And so I was like, they're the ones that are probably barking, because they're like, oh yeah, so... Let me pause it real quick. So, I actually downloaded the video. Yeah. And then so she came back. The first time she came, she knocked, and then by the time I got out, she was already walking away. And then this time she came back, and we were like, all of a sudden we heard this like super loud banging, and I was like, what the heck was that? And so I got out, and I was like, make sure the dogs don't get out. So I walked out, and then on my other cameras, I saw that she just like barged into the backyard, and I was like, what the heck? And then by that time, when I came out, she was like walking out, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And then she was like, I'm looking for my dog. You guys have my dog. I'm like, you don't have your dog. And I didn't see that she even had a knife. And then my wife was like, what are you doing with that knife? And she's like, put that knife away. And then she like hid it behind. And she was kind of like swinging it a little bit. She wasn't like doing anything, but she was like, I'm looking for my dog. And so I was like, she said something like someone's gonna like hurt her dog if she doesn't get it back. I was like, we don't have your dog. And so then she put it in the back and then walked away. But, yeah, but apparently, Lizanne knows where she lives. So
whatever house this is, a lot away. All right.
I'm sorry.
Hello, ma'am.
I'm
Do you
dealing
control
with
your dog?
right now.
Can you control your dog?
Yeah, she's just sitting there.
Okay.
I just got back from getting her. I'm sorry, I'm not dealing with this right now. I'm going through a lot.
What are you going through? Here, ma'am, come out here for a minute.
No.
Yes?
No.
We gotta talk about something.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Ma'am, step out of the car. Hi, pup.
Someone stole my dog.
Someone stole your dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Do you
my
live here?
gates are closed. I went outside, still no gates are open. And she's not in the backyard.
Do you live here?
Yes, I own this house.
You own this house?
Yes.
Okay. Step out here for a minute.
Oh, come on. No,
Step
I
out of
didn't
the
do
car.
anything
Keep your
wrong.
hands in sight.
Officers attempted to contact her and remove her from the vehicle, but she was able to pull away, start her vehicle, and shift it into reverse.
Main 5 shots fired.
As you can see, that happened very quickly. She refused to get out of the vehicle. As she took off driving, the cops started shooting at her. Now, this is their official version of events as given by their spokesperson. Listen very carefully. After reversing a short distance, she drove towards an officer who's positioned on the front lawn of the residence. She then turned her vehicle towards the officer and accelerated towards him. The officer was able to move out of the way and shot 7 times towards the suspect. His partner shot 3 times towards the vehicle. Setting aside the veracity of the spokesperson's description of the scene at the time, they note that one officer fired 7 shots, the other officer fired 3. But she keeps on driving, she drives away. They end up pursuing her, and they end up catching her down the road. Apparently hit her 1 time. 7 shots from one, 3 from the other. Hit her 1 time. I don't know where she was hit, but she was able to drive and continue driving.
The suspect was able to flee eastbound on Malaga Way toward Aramon Drive as deputies scrambled back to their patrol vehicles. Fortunately, they were all unharmed.
Vehicle's going to be a white Dodge Challenger heading now southbound. Shots fired, shots fired. All officers are okay. Vehicle fled from us. It's a white female adult attached to the call.
The suspect evaded capture for approximately 15 minutes when an officer spotted her vehicle nearby on Folsom Boulevard and Routier Road. Officers conducted a felony vehicle stop and safely took her into custody.
Turn around! Turn around! Face away! Cool, cool. Hands up over your head! Get out of here! Get out!
The suspect in this incident was identified as 24-year-old Kyrie Anna Lyles of Placentia. She was transported to a local hospital to be treated for a gunshot wound to her arm. The dog was unharmed. After getting medically cleared for incarceration, she was booked into custody at the Sacramento County Main Jail. Officers located 2 large kitchen knives in her residence, which matched the description of the knife she was holding at the time of the incident.
The federal courts have held that an officer may use deadly force when the officer has probable cause to believe that the suspect poses a threat of serious physical harm either to the officer or to others. That's from Tennessee versus Garner. So here, the threat that we have to assess is not really the knife that this woman was alleged to possess, but the car. So officers will have to rely on the car itself being the threat to their safety. Federal courts have also held that officers can't just place themselves in danger and then use that as their justification. At the end of the day, the courts have to assess whether or not it was reasonable, objectively, for a police officer to believe that there's this threat of serious physical harm or death to a police officer or to anyone else, or to the public at large. So when you see the shots being fired here, I don't believe that this video footage matches up with their explanation. It does not appear to me from watching this footage that her vehicle was heading in the direction or was physically even capable of harming a police officer. Nor were there any other people in the path, in the direct path of this vehicle. Does that justify deadly force? All they knew about this woman is that she was alleged to have sort of brandished a kitchen knife. She wasn't a fleeing convicted felon. She wasn't a fleeing serial killer that if they didn't shoot her before she left the area, she might be a danger to the public at large. The video, to me, doesn't even come close to appearing to match up. But at the same time, the courts will always say that these are quickly developing situations and police officers have to make split-second decisions and we're not going to judge them in 20/20 hindsight. It's always possible that a federal court could just say, all right, well, we're going to give the police officers qualified immunity here because it was a split-second decision. That's how I see it, but I'd be curious to see how you see it. Let me know in the comments. Subscribe both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. Remember, freedom is scary. Deal with it.